What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's a good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here. And according to Cimini, the New York Jets are very comfortable with Tyrod Taylor being their starting quarterback for week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. Specifically in his quote, he highlighted, on the surface, Taylor seems like a fallback option, but the Jets are telling people they will be comfortable with him as their opening day starter. And then he goes on to say that adding his second-tier signal caller in the draft is a likely avenue for New York. And all of this makes a ton of sense to me. I think many of us have called this out last year. Many of us feel this way going into the 2025 season with the pieces that we already have in play. And again, if the defense returns to the glory that we would expect it to based off the talent available, Tyrod Taylor is the quarterback that can maximize what you have, in my opinion. He's not going to get these guys to play leagues above or wherever they may be, but you have Garrett Wilson, that's a wide receiver 1 in the league. I would expect him to put up top 5 type numbers. If you bring back into Tyler Conklin, you've seen what he did with Zach Wilson. I would probably say he's on, he's due for probably a top 7 statistical type season, right? The offensive line would get a major boost, not just from the plus mobility that he would offer as compared to Aaron Rodgers, but he's just also been extremely efficient. I don't remember where I seen or heard this at, but I know obviously he's 3 for 3 in terms of scoring drives last year for us when he's been called into play. But I want to say somebody mentioned something along the lines of he's effectively scored on like 50% of the drives that he's been involved in, right? Which would be pretty insane to think about. And regardless if that's true or not, when you look at his game, when you look at just how he goes out there and goes about his business, he minimizes turnovers to, the best degree possible in 9 out of 10 situations. But he's also very calculated in having a very underrated deep ball. We've seen that on display during the offseason, but he's aggressive when necessary. I mean, when we played him 2 years ago and he came into the game, I might have been thinking Jacoby Brissett here, matter of fact. But nonetheless, he's a guy that I think fits in that same kind of mold, right? A plus version of Jacoby Brissett. When he comes into games, you can't rest on your laurels. You seriously have to consider the fact that he'll be able to slowly take his time and chip away at whatever kind of lead you have. And before you know it, his team is suddenly up 3, suddenly up 10 points on you. And the defense is locked in to be able to put things away. So I think the way we're set up is a perfect combination for being able to maximize Tyrod Taylor's game. As far as the secondary piece that talks about the draft, and even as far as free agency with the hype for Justin Fields, I'm not necessarily hot or cold on the Justin Fields topic. I really just want a quarterback that can make all the throws for what we're going to ask them to do in this scheme. And that's still very much so up in the air about what that's going to look like and what that's going to mean for us. Having a dual threat quarterback is going to have a whole nother dimension to what the Detroit Lions were already doing last year. We can't forget, yes, Jared Goff also has some mobility, but he's definitely more in that Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, pocket passer dimension. So seeing some of the names like Carson Wentz and Marcus Mariota makes a little bit more sense if the belief truly is that we just want to get another veteran presence in here that can do all the same things and pull off the same type of throws that Tyrod Taylor will be able to without having to take a step back if injury occurs. And I think that's really going to be the biggest piece. You want another proving guy in the event that Tyrod Taylor goes down. And I think 99% of us will say we don't expect Tyrod Taylor to make it through a full season. Sad, but until he proves that he can, handle some of these hits that he tends to take, that's going to be the discussion topic here. In terms of the draft, Jalen Milroe, I think, becomes a hot name once again. You talk about the bump in the 3rd round draft pick that we have, picking very early in that round, Jalen Milroe potentially being available. You make the connection to our quarterback coach working him out at the combine and being the only quarterback to get a workout from us so far. And I would imagine we are doing a ton of more work on the guys that may be there on day 2 and specifically in that 3rd round for us where they might feel like they can get a value pick. So that writes off names like Shedeur Sanders potentially, in my opinion. Obviously Cam Ward, since you probably need to trade up to get him. And then Jackson Dart, who probably will be a sneaky riser all the way up into some point from the mid to lower range of the 1st round, in my opinion, just with the trajectory that he's going on. So Tyler Shough is another name that people have been really, really hyped about when I've dropped any kind of draft-related material here. And by the way, in about a week and a half here, I'm going to start actually diving into quarterbacks as part of my first breakdown for this new offseason. So with all of that said, I think this is plus news for me just off the strength of the fact that Tyrod Taylor isn't going to be the unequivocal starter for us, but knowing that he's going to be slotted in as that role, and then you hope that the competition behind him is strong enough to push and, let the best man win, right? I think that needs to be the motto for our season. If it's going to be win now, I can see us definitely leaning on Tyrod, especially if we don't necessarily go the veteran route, and that would be the Justin Fields signing him. This example, right? A guy that, yes, has some years accrued under his belt, but I don't think anybody looks at him as having that kind of veteran-like persona. It's still a guy that's new-ish in the league, that's trying to find his way, that's trying to figure out how to just develop in one scheme or one franchise and go from there. But with all that said, let me know what you guys think. Do you feel like it would be a bad move if Tyrod Taylor ultimately ends up being our week 1 starter? Maybe we fail to add the right pieces in terms of competition, or would you be comfortable with him actually being there and you would hope that somebody usurps him at some point in that offseason, hopefully based off performance and not necessarily due to injury? But let me know what you guys think. Also as well, let me know if you have a specific day 2 target in mind, and I'll catch you guys again. Peace.